Alright guys, back with another video today. It's an unboxing and installation of some frame guards. Got these off of Amazon. Saw some dudes on, I think Facebook had these, so I thought I'm gonna give them a try. Like some pretty decent hardware. And the frames, now that I've thrown them down and probably scratched them, no, they're separated by the foam, so that's good. It took a while to get here. They got stuck in customs, and I think it was about 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, which was very unusual for Amazon. But I'm sure they came over here on a very slow boat from China. Heigoal, I guess it's the brand. So what I like about this is I like that it's got the master cylinder guard on there, and yeah, I like the black. The one thing I have seen, I don't think it's on this side, but I think I've got like a little bit of a scratch in my powder coat on that frame just from dropping the bike. And I don't want that, so I don't want to introduce, maybe there's a little bit right there if you can see it, maybe it's just a little blemish, but haven't really looked at the instructions, quite honestly. I don't see any instructions, so I guess we get to figure this out on our own. In case maybe I missed something in here. No instructions. All right. So, I guess we get to figure this out on our own. I usually do this anyway, right? Who reads the instructions? But at least it's nice to have a fail-safe. This is just like some foam. 1/8 of an inch, not really sure about that. Couple of zip ties. I'll drop those down there, and 2-3 bolts. Looks like some spacers. 1 nut. Spacer, nut. Allen head. Okay. Let's check out the other side. You've got one short bolt on there. Let's see. Let me grab that other. Okay, so that bolt probably goes through right there. Say the bolt probably goes right there, and then just not so sure about where the zip ties are going to go. I guess it's up to me, huh? Let's say maybe these two take the place of that master cylinder bolts there. It's gonna have to. I got a short one and a long one, and they both feel about the same distance. I think there's some nut housings in that. So, okay. I see that's got KLX on it. I wish I got those now. They're a little bit more expensive. All right, so yeah, that one picture. Bolt there, the bolts there. I just don't know, like, does the zip tie go? Got some Loctite on them. I need to put Loctite back on them too. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have to take them both out. All right. I think there's this process right here. I think we're gonna go like, I think this is how this is gonna go on. So I think this will go on like this. I think this will go here like that. And I think this spacer will go in between here. And then that's how that will fit. That's my best guess. So I'm gonna get some Loctite though. Actually gonna use a little bit of red thread locker on those. But before I do, my guess is some of this goes up here. So I'm thinking we need to cut that in half. Like, that's a really good fit on this side. And maybe we thread the zip tie through that. And my guess is we put a little bit of this up here to keep that off the frame. So let me get my cutters. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this foam soft material here just at the top to keep that frame from touching this frame. And I just need to go ahead and cut that and guesstimate that to be about half. I think that's a decent design. This factory piece will coincide with that piece, and then I'll put the zip tie on last. So let me get a bolt. Wee bit. I'm almost out. This thing is, God, it's old. Probably too much, but I always use too much thread locker. Okay, so then this, not that, this, it's interesting because the frame makes it impossible to see, and the spring on the brake, that cylinder is pulling it down. I don't know if I got a bite here or not. I may have a bite. There we go. Okay. Wowza. Okay, so the trick to that was to push the master cylinder, push this back away from the frame, and then it went on there pretty easy. Let's see if I can get a tiny bit of thread lock on instead of gooping it all over everything. So here's an interesting premise. of trying to do this. Oh. I could put some grease on the back of that to hold that in place maybe. That would be nice. This is more difficult than the helicopters I used to work on. Alright, gotcha. So I could do the same thing. I'm pushing the master cylinder away to get that bolt started. Alright, finally. All right. This zip tie doesn't seem very substantial. So where do I want that to be? All right, so finally, that part of the puzzle is solved. So I think it looks good. Once you figure out you got to push the master cylinder back away from this frame a little bit, for some reason it gives you a better angle to get the bolt in. And I've got the locking mechanism of the zip tie behind here, so it's not going to be out grabbing my boots or my pants or anything like that. My question is this is zip tie with this metal frame. I wonder what that life, I may put another, I've got zip ties out the wazoo, so I may put a few zip ties down through here just to secure it a little bit better. All right, let's go do the other side. I'm going to need some type of socket. There, wee bit of does not have a nylon safety washer, which is, I think, a shortcoming. That ought to be a nylon safety washer, because if that falls off and gets into your chain and your sprockets, that's gonna be pretty bad, like really bad. So hence the red Loctite. So this is a little sketchy. Put a little extra on there. If I'm ever going to put extra on something, it's going to be on that. All right, so here, there. Get my hands back in here. All right, got a bite on that. Let's see if that nut will lock up on that frame. Yeah, it had some little threads on the back of it, so that's good. Okay. I'm trying to get a hold of that. All right, so that's that. All right, guys, here's the finished product. I really dig the look of it. I'm glad I got the black. Once you understand the two long bolts go here in the brake cylinder, the master cylinder for the rear brake. The little foam pad goes up here. I added one bigger zip tie just for a little added security. And that you have to push this master cylinder back away from the frame a little bit in order for these bolts to start threading in. That's a trick for that one. So that's that side. This side, it was the short bolt spacer, this concave spacer in between that in the frame, and then there's a nut on the back of it, and red thread locker on all that so it doesn't come off. Zip tie. I think I'm good to go. I've got the tape underneath of it. I think that side's good. I like it. What I may end up doing actually is putting maybe a little bit more. I may get some tape and put on there for a little bit more traction with my boots versus just that metal. But I do dig the look. I think it was about between 30 and 40 bucks. Took 2 weeks to get. Slow boat from China, but not too bad. So if you follow my directions, you should be in good shape because it doesn't come with any directions. So not too hard to figure out, but hopefully this helps. If it did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more KLX300 content. I can't wait to get back on the trail. Thanks guys, have a great day.